Hey guys, this is Sana here and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to give some ideas and things to do if you are in 5th year in preparation for your leaving cert. I have a lot of people asking me questions about what to do, what should be they focusing on, what should be their priority, whether they should be doing something or not in 5th year. And I thought that I will make a whole video giving you my tips or what I think you should be focusing on. But then again, this is my opinion and I feel like the biggest priority should be what you think, but this is just me and my guideline or my tips. You don't have to follow them, but you know, this is just me answering your questions. Before we get into this video, please subscribe. 80% of you who watch my videos are not subscribed, so I know you guys, so please, it will really help me. And comment down any more suggestions you have or any more videos you want to see or questions you have. I try my best to reply to all of you guys because I appreciate you reaching out to me. And let's go into this video. I think the first thing that I think you can use your time in 5th year for is making notes. I think it's a great time to start compiling and getting your attention and giving your attention to notes, because I think 6th year is more about learning and it's more exam focused. So I would recommend, start making poetry grids, which I have a whole video about how to do that. If you want, I will put it in the description box even. And start, focusing on your document. If you're doing French or any other language, it's a great time to start thinking about it, even make it, because then you can have the whole summer or 6th year to learn it. At this time, you will really have the time to do that. But again, I will tell you to make them very exam focused and keep in mind the you that's gonna be in 6th year trying to learn those notes. So don't make hundreds and thousands of notes that you won't have time to learn. So I do recommend have a balance between making good notes and making notes that you can study. Another thing that you can do in 5th year is start working on your exam papers. This is a problem many people have, in that sense that they wait for 6th year to start working on the exam papers, or they wait till the teachers start giving them homework on exam papers. They just wait and they wait for too long. I think 5th year is a great time to start putting your fingers into the exam papers and the exam questions, because you will not know what is relevant in a topic or not unless you apply it to an exam paper and you can see why something is important and how you can write an exam ready answer, and you have time to start working on exam papers now. And the thing is, 5th year, I do recommend focusing more about learning than memorizing, because you are not gonna be able to memorize so many things by heart if you don't understand, or if you don't get what they mean, if you don't comprehend what they mean. So this is a great time to actually give time to studying, give time to understanding concepts. So for example, if you're doing motion in physics or if you're doing mechanics in physics, this is a great time to watch loads of videos, to work on problems and to do as many questions as you can to understand it, and leave the learning the formulas or leave the learning part of it till 6th year, because that's when it's more relevant to you. 5th year is a great time to find out what your weaknesses are, and if you find them, start working on them. This is the best time you will have. After 5th year, time just runs away so fast. So an example would be, I've always found financial maths really hard in 5th year, and I kind of just left it. I found it hard. I didn't care about it. I just found it hard, and that's it. I just found it hard and didn't really care to understand why or learn it, and I left it to 6th year. And see, that's the problem, because 6th year, a lot of times teachers do really harder topics such as calculus or those probability and stats, and finding time when I'm doing all that to then start going back to financial maths and learning why I found it hard is just not a good strategy, especially if you're also doing so many other things and you have mocks and HBAT and projects compounding on top. So if you're finding something hard, 5th year is a great time to focus why you're finding it hard and learn it properly. So another thing that I think you can really do right now is start thinking about the future. I know this is kind of scary, because we never know what's in the future. But in my opinion, you have right now the resources, the time that you need to think about where to apply, what course you want to do, what college you want to go, or if you even want to apply to another country for your course or not. And this might work for some people, because let's just be honest, not everybody knows what they want to do. But I think I will implore you to start focusing on what you might want to do next year. And this includes, going to open days, which right now might not be that possible, but this really it's important for you to go and see the environment you might want to study in, meet people who are in the same course that you might want to go. And if you're not sure about a course, go talk to people, ask them what their daily routine is, how their schedules are, what they find hard, easy, what their career prospects are. When you're going to be going to 6th year, it's going to be a lot about exams and a lot about applying to CIO. That's not going to be the time where you're going to be exploring other options that you are interested in or you might be interested in. 5th year is that time. And I also recommend shadowing people. If you want to, for example, do medicine, go and shadow. If you can find, it's really good, if you can find doctors or somebody who's willing to take you around the hospital for a few days and see the environment you want to work in, see whether this is a realistic future for you or not, see whether you enjoy it or not, just and put yourself out there. If you want to go for architecture, go and maybe work in a architecture firm for a day. Again, the thing with this is we are never 100% sure what our future is going to be. This is just exploring our options. That's where I am advising you to just play around with the ideas, go and look, and don't just think about it and think about it or daydream about it, because what our expectations are very different from our reality. And this will also help you. For example, you're not sure about medicine. I think you kind of have to decide that around 5th year and at the end of 5th year because of the HBAT. If you're not sure about medicine, I do recommend kind of having some sort of clarity around November of 6th year, because then you have to start working on the HBAT. If you end up deciding you want to go for it, and medicine is a restricted course and you cannot change your mind in the April of 6th year and change your CIO options, and that will also help you think about whether you want to apply to another country. And if you do, for example, want to apply to UK or you want to apply to other EU countries for medicine or other courses, 5th year will be the time where you start exploring that and start finding out what are the requirements, what extra do you need, what things you need. For example, if you're applying to UK, a lot more people need more extra curriculum. They need personal statements, they need other kind of exams, for example UKCAT. And if you don't think about that in 5th year and leave all that to 6th year, you're just adding extra burden and pressure on yourself, and I just want you to avoid that. Start thinking about plan Bs, and nobody wants to think about them, and people just think it's like, why will you think about that? Because there's one course you want to go to, you love it so much, and why are you choosing something else? But I think being realistic about yourself and your choices is very important. Having another option that you enjoy and you want to go to is so important, and it's going to reduce the burden in August when you are getting your offers. So have another plan that you might want to go for. That includes whether you want to go to another course, whether you want to go to another college, maybe that's not in Dublin, or another country for the same course. Anything that is different from the one thing that is your plan A. If you are applying for medicine, I know I talk a lot about medicine, but it's just my own experience, so I can give you a better idea about it. If you are and you are kind of sure about it, I think 5th year is a great time to start getting familiar with the HBAT. I don't really recommend a lot of people to start studying for HBAT. Start getting familiar with the format, what questions there are, some tips, and some questions, and start figuring out your strategy, what you're going to do, whether you're going to get a course or not, what is your aim, what do you think is more important to you, HBAT or Leaving Cert. Another thing is extracurriculum. Don't make school your whole identity or studying your whole identity. This is a great time to explore other options, explore other hobbies, and invest your time in them. Don't be afraid to go do a sport, do art, or do writing. We are more than students. Our identity is not just Leaving Cert students. We are more than that, so invest your time into that. I have a video I made about things to do in TY. I guess it could apply to 5th year as well. Let me know if you want a more comprehensive list of what you can do in extracurriculum, and maybe I might make one. And yeah, lastly, the whole summary of what you can do in 5th year is stay on top of your work. There's no extra, there's nothing more fancy. Just keep your head on top of work and don't let your work slip. If you don't want to do exam questions, if you don't want to do extracurricular, if you don't want to think about future, I still recommend you keeping your mind and your work in check. And that includes doing your homework, and that includes, catching up on stuff and not letting your stuff slip out. If they're doing a topic that you find hard, you know, make sure you are understanding, you know, don't leave things behind for the next year. This video kind of helped to give an idea on what you could be doing in 5th year. Enjoy the lack of stress. I know that would be bad because people do have all kinds of stress, but you know, academic wise and CAO wise, enjoy it and don't stress too much. And I hope you like this video. Comment down below any more videos you want to watch and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.